Good morning. I had a really interesting set of conversations after church on Sunday. I was at Black Hill and we were talking about grace and how that enables us to change and own up to stuff, but with the full understanding that forgiveness will be given and how that affects us. It was really interesting with the conversations afterwards because everybody came up to me with a different story. Everybody had a different response to what it was that they sought grace for and how that affected their lives. And it was just got me thinking very much about today's reading. Now, in today's reading, Jesus seems to be practicing practical theology. He's got away from Galilee, he's headed up north, he's got away from his hometown and where he's known, and then he meets somebody who's a Gentile, who isn't a Jew, who has heard about him. And because she's heard about him, she is looking for grace, for healing for her child, and which is a free gift of love. And she asks for it. And it's really interesting because Jesus says, hold on a second, no, I came for those of the Jewish faith. I didn't come for anybody else. And she responds to him in the moment saying, well, even the dogs don't get to eat the crumbs under the table. And in that moment, there is a shift. Jesus clearly goes through a process of responding to a different stimulus and a different thing in the moment. He says, yeah, okay, I've got that. Your faith has cured your daughter, and I'm changing my mind. For me, this is really, really important. It's a really important question for us as Christians. When we're faced daily with a changing world, new technology, new experiences, new cultures, and when things are different, do we read the gospel and have the gospel respond to those circumstances in exactly the same way? If we do, quite often we're not going to understand or respond to the nuances of that situation. And we see this in the way the Methodist Church is evolving and growing and changing and responding to the world about it. And you can see the same in other churches where sometimes it's, well, we're not going to respond. The gospel's the gospel, and that's exactly what it means here and now. And there's no questions asked. It's black and white. I love the idea that this reading shows that Jesus, even with his status, his understanding of God and the scriptures, and his relationship with God, can find himself adjusting his opinion, adjusting the way he approaches things. And so, really, I want to ask you today, when you meet the world or you're out in the world, how you take your time to understand what the gospel's saying to you and what God is saying to you and what the Spirit is saying to you in that moment. Because if we don't, and it's a complex thing to do, if we don't, are we really living out the gospel? Are we really hearing the plight of other people? Are we really working with compassion? And are we really seeing God present? Because clearly, even Jesus is prepared to change something that he has a quite set opinion about, because he's faced with something different in the world. So bless you all, and may you find new ways to be God present for those around you as you meet new circumstances. And let's get out there and build the kingdom. God bless.